Hello, great to have you back. Today is the day. Today we will make the thing round. We will finish the first milestone for our messaging. We will try to draft together your $1 million message, and I like to give you the structure of how we do that. In the last several sessions, we was actually preparing for this step. We first defined the market. We secondly looked at what our best possible prospect customer looks like. Then we looked in the avatar goals grid on the pains and frustrations, goals and desires, fears and implications, and dreams and aspirations. And we selected then the core currency out of many possible currency that we identified. We chose the best one, in this case weight or weight loss, and with exactly that one we like to move forward now to the preparation for the $1 million message. I think that's an exciting step. The idea of the $1 million message is that for your master wording, for your first main campaign, this will be the lead message that will reappear on your website, on your landing page, in email communication, in videos. We will use it all over to bring it to the people and tell the people that this is our. Perfect. Let's dive in and we look on the first step of the $1 million message. There is then a second step that we will add directly after. Now in the first area here we have a point where we like to write down what are your client's 3 main obstacles between them and results. Now, most likely you will find indication in the framework that we did before. Most likely here in the pains and frustration, you will find maybe the 3 that you selected here are the ones that you move forward now in this area, and they will be most likely part of the $1 million message. Secondly, what will their life be like if they don't solve this problem? Again, this is actually the extract from the fears and implication. Also here, it is again to rethink, have I selected the best first 3 here, the best first 3 here, and these are the ones that I will bring here and note them down as a preparation for this step. Then the point 3 is ask yourself, who would you really like to work with? Also me, I did that in my MDM framework, and I came to the point that generally, as I said before, I focus on sales and marketing managers, but on the other side I focus also on companies that are already kind of settled. They have a market, they are in a step to grow, they like to gain stability, they like to really do a next step in their venture for getting their success. I reject at the moment complete startups, while I have learned in my own life that startups in the very beginning are often not very settled. They are still thinking about which products is the right one. Team structures are not yet built. There are many other issues that they are fighting with, so that's not my priority. So think about that in the same way, and you will use these ones here then actually on your prospects, when you have the fast track calls, people prospects are calling in, and you will interview them and you will decide, is this a matching customer or is it not? And I think it makes sense sometimes to know early that a given customer is not the right one, that we have more time to focus on the ones that really fit our plan. I think you agree that we are really looking for customers and prospects that are happy with us and we are happy with them. That's what this is all about. On many of our frameworks, we have usually on the right side here some tips that could help you filling this framework. Now here again, it is very important that you underlay your selections of the main pains and obstacles with the real need outside in the market. And tools like the keyword tools of Google, Ad Planner, SEMrush is a very big and strong tool to go into detail what products and what keywords are market. Then Amazon book reviews. I learned that not so long ago that when you go into Amazon and you search for your topic, you will find books that was written, and the reviews that are given from the readers are giving you great insight of what possible customers might expect and which topics that are already kind of exhausted, which topics are excited to users. So take your time, a few hours, not only 5 minutes, a few hours, browse through Amazon in your topic and you will learn a great deal. Now let's move to the second part here, and it's actually the same thing again. What's your client's biggest goal and desire comes from the core currency. So we are actually bringing here the selection that we made here. This will definitely be a part of our $1 million message. Then the greatest dream and aspirations. We like to create excitement in our message. So select again the dream and aspirations coming from this side here. And third, why does it matter? What would their life be when they don't act? We like to give your business a cause that really changes lives. So think about how would they feel when they don't have your service. They need to feel that they need you and your product to have a better life. That's what this preparation for now building the $1 million message is all about. And with this we can move on to the next. So let's shortly look at this wonderful formula that my mentor Aaron Fletcher from the Fletcher method designed, a formula to create an MDM, a $1 million message. What it generally says is the SA means the selected avatar multiplied by the currency we selected over here. The currency we selected plus the metric and the timeline minus the pain. And this is exactly what we are doing here. So also here again, it's helpful to look shortly at these tips here. It's important to remember the metric and the timeline. Metric, timeline, focus on the big why. It it's at this point not important how you do it and what you do. It's important for the prospect why you are doing it and why it is mattering to him. Be specific and relevant to your target avatar, the reference to the avatar here. Be complementary when possible and start with the template before improving. Meaning of that is we will now try a very raw form here of the $1 million message, and it is, let me say, the initial draw of a message that can be refined in a later step, but the structure and the elements we have should be consistent. So let's try 1, 2, or 3 on the fly. Good. Let's try 1 or 2 $1 million messages here, and then I think you will see how this thing comes together. So we have here the basics. I help achieve to do so they can without the pain achieve the currency and the metric and timeline so they can be happy, successful, healthier, whatever. We had before on top here, we had this example of weight loss, and we maybe could look at this one to understand it a bit better. So how this thing works is, I help. Now here we have our avatar. We say busy mothers trying to lose weight. So we have busy mothers that like to lose weight. So what we do in the first step, we say I help busy mothers. Then achieve, we go back to the currency, achieve weight loss. But now we like to be more detailed. We say we like them to achieve 10 kg of weight loss in 90 days. So we have the currency, weight loss, the metric, 10 kg, and the timeline 30 days. So we have now I help busy mothers achieve 10 kg weight loss in 30 days, so they can now, why does it matter to them, what would be their life, so they can play again with their children on the playgrounds, so they can remain attractive for their husband, so they can, I think you get where we are heading to, without the biggest pain. We have the goals and desires, dreams and aspirations, so the biggest pains, the biggest obstacle, we subtract. So we have, I help busy mothers achieve 10 kg weight loss in 30 days, so they can be happy and healthy again, without spending 5 hours in the gym, as an example. So I think you get the concept. At this point I don't go deeper into that. When you have the basics together, try to refine, make this sentence as smooth as it can. Sometimes you can imply a metric. It could also be half or double something. So when you have the basic structure, you take this into a text editor and you simply draft 4, 5, 6, 10. Usually you end up with 20, and you look at them and try to find the best $1 million message for your business that will be used later, as I said, on your landing pages, on your first campaign as a lead message, that will attract the busy mothers that like to lose 10 kg weight without being stressed or going too long to the gym. Let's zoom out shortly, as we do it usually. We are still in the marketing foundation, but we achieved the goal today. We drafted the $1 million message based on these additional 5 frameworks. Still, this main point 2 in our plan that we have for you to make your sales automation machine happen, we still miss out on the perfect offer. The perfect offer is usually defined on one side as what you see here. We call this a signature solution that drafts a clear way from where you are at the moment with all the steps to the promised land, so that when you talk to a prospect, that he sees actually on one view what you plan with him. Beside of that, I maybe shortly move a bit up here. Very essential in our mission is for the perfect offer is you should know the numbers. What I like to say with that is, when you think about running a campaign with Facebook or Google, there are some maths behind every successful campaign. That was really an eye-opener for me. I did this completely wrong before. The essentials here are 2 or 3 things. First, there is a given price of a product that will be hard to sell. When you try today to sell a product for $100 over the internet, you will have a hard time. It was actually the eye-opener was that my mentor told me it is much harder to sell a $100 product than a $5,000 product. Simple reason is that the maths behind is that when you have a given budget that you can spend to gain a quality lead, and then a percentage of this one will go maybe to a strategy session, and then become a customer, but maybe again 5% of it. So it is easy to understand when you have a product that is $100 and you spend $100, that might be not a good business. But when you have a product that is $5,000 on the client lifetime value on this side, then you will not feel much pain when you pay $100 or $200 to gain a lead and nurture him through the process, so that your total lead costs are maybe in the end $300. So this is a very key thing, and go into yourself. This makes the big difference. On the other side, we will still in the foundation. No, this is actually then already part of the quality lead machine here. We will talk about the right structure of a funnel, how to set up a good funnel. So there is still a lot coming in front, and I don't know how you feel today. I believe when you go through, I'm sure you are still working on the different frameworks, and now you try to finalize the $1 million message. When you like to know how we can move on to the next step, I would be really happy to hear from you. Use the button, you book a call. This call is for free, maybe 20-30 minutes. that could really change your life, the life of your team, and could lead the way for a successful company and a successful sales team. Thank you so much for your time.